Studio here at NewDay. With me this morning, I have Dr. Albert Hamid. He's from the Nabita Hospital in Tamil. Good morning, Doctor.
Good morning, Benny.
How's everything going?
Fine, by God's grace.
Good. Now, we saw the video. We saw the damage that it can cause to the teeth. But what starts this off? I mean, what causes bruxism?
Well, I'd like to start by defining bruxism, which is a parafunctional habit involving grinding and or clenching of the teeth.
Okay, when you say parafunctional,
parafunctional meaning that it's not something that is normal.
Okay.
See, normally you use your teeth to grind when there's food in your mouth.
Yeah.
But in this case, there's no stimulus for you to grind. There's no food in your mouth,
Okay.
so it's just off grinding.
Okay.
Yes, and off clenching.
All right. So, and what causes it?
Yeah, bruxism has been linked to mostly stress-related issues.
Okay.
Yes, stress-related issues. So we will find out that it's something that people even do not, most of them are not aware of. Yeah, there are certain medications that have also been associated with bruxism, like antidepressants.
Okay.
And then also there are also other associations with taking recreational drugs like cocaine, alcohol, tobacco. In these individuals, they are now unable to sleep quite well.
Okay.
Yes, there's that association between bruxism and sleep disorders also. So when you try and put everything together, stress is the underlying factor, yes, but when you compound it with the recreational drugs, stresses of life generally, at work, there's heavy work schedule. Sometimes you just want to relieve it, and then the body adapts, and then by the time you realize you are clenching your teeth.
Okay. So in children, then obviously it wouldn't be stress; it'd be more anxiety.
Yes. Yes.
You know, the hyperactivity.
Yeah, children who have anxiety disorders are associated. I mean, you find a strong link between the disorders and bruxism. But in some children also, the bruxism starts when their teeth start coming out.
Right.
When the baby teeth start coming out, they start grinding, and then sometimes when the adult teeth start coming out, they also start bruxism.
Okay, so it could be somewhat of a comfort thing for them because of the gums being achy.
Yeah, but eventually it wears off. For those in which it persists, there are those that have the anxiety disorders, and this may continue over time.
Okay. So how would one be able to find out if they have bruxism? Because if you're not consciously doing it while you're awake and you are doing it while you sleep, then really and truly, unless you are with somebody who's with you while you're asleep, is that the only way you can find out? Okay,
so two types of bruxism. We are looking at the sleep-related bruxism and then the one that you do whilst awake. So obviously, if you are awake and let's say you are at work and are doing it, maybe your colleagues may draw your attention to it.
Right.
If you are asleep, it's very difficult for you to know. So like you said, either your partner, but you would point it out that this is what happens when you are asleep. And for those who nobody points it out to them, eventually what may happen is that you start presenting with the symptoms of bruxism. You may have very sensitive teeth. You may notice that your teeth have become shorter with time. Right. Maybe you just go for a general dental checkup and your dentist tells you that, oh, your teeth are shorter than normal. They become flattened. The biting surfaces are flattened. Yeah. And with the sensitivities, because the hardened part, the very hard part of the tooth is worn off, the enamel is worn off, and so the dentin is showing. Okay. Then eventually you could have the teeth breaking. Right. Because when you have been grinding over it over a very long time, the teeth may die out, and then you may have a split tooth. Just one day you are just cracking something, and the tooth just splits. Yeah. If the split is not taken care of, you could have an abscess developing later on. Okay. Yes. And there are other things also. They're not just the teeth. You could have pain in the joints. The TMJ, what we call the TMJ, the joint that joins the lower jaw to the upper jaw.
Okay. Yeah. So around the back.
Yes, just in front of the ear. And these problems may even be referred to the ear. Somebody may present with earache. So it's not just in the mouth. If you do not take care of it over time, the symptoms may aggravate as the time goes on.
Okay. What's the extreme of it? I mean, how harmful can it be to the human body?
Well, the extreme is, like I said, you can imagine we're having very sensitive teeth, very, very uncomfortable for you to chew on, and then all your teeth are just breaking every night. And the least thing you just bite, your teeth just split. And then when you are having problems with your joint, it's very, very uncomfortable because the least thing that you try to open, you may even hear a clicking sound. There are some people, at the moment they open, you hear clicking at the joint. So it could be very, very painful and very uncomfortable to deal with.
Yes. Could that in turn lead to other things like migraines? And
yes, you could have headaches, migraines.
Okay. Now, what would be the treatment? Can it be stopped naturally? Can one do it by themselves?
It's difficult to stop it by yourself, because like I said, most people do not even know that they have a problem. So there are two things that we can do. If somebody has told you that you are grinding your teeth, you could start with seeing the dentist. Let's see if there are any other symptoms that we can treat. For example, if you have sensitive teeth, we may try and do something about it. If you have cracked teeth, your teeth are shorter than normal, we may put some crowns over them so that you can be okay. And then we also have what we call occlusal splints. Occlusal splints are just like what the boxers wear. Yeah, but this one is
like the gum shield.
Yes, but this is a softer one.
All right.
Yeah, we have the splints, and then we have the mouth guards. The guards are softer than the splints.
Okay.
And this just to prevent your teeth from grinding against each other, especially when you are asleep. And then we also have behavior therapy, where the cause is stress related. You need some form of a psychologist to treat you, and so you have to add that to the treatment plan. So you have to deal with the underlying cause. If it's a drug related, like I said, some type of antidepressants, well, you cannot stop it on your own. You have to consult your physician. He may change it, or medication, and then we should be able to sort it out.
Okay. How often are people actually reporting this? Are they reporting?
Most people will report at the very last stage, when the teeth are broken. They cannot open their mouth without experiencing some form of pain, or where they have persistent earaches. So we are seeing a lot of people presenting at the late stage. Very few people will come at the early stages. If somebody comes at the early stage, maybe by chance one tooth got broken, and then he came, and then we realize that all your other teeth are flat, then we can start some therapy for you.
Okay. There was one thing mentioned in the video, and I just want to touch on it, just to, you being a doctor and all, that maternal depression could cause teeth grinding in children. Well,
it's not, as per the research that I've followed, I have not come across any. What I've found is that depression in children, yes,
will cause, but it's not in the maternal depression.
Not directly from the mother, directly from the mother.
All right, and would certain foods contribute towards Bruxism, such as some people chew bones? Yeah,
once it has been established that you have Bruxism, there are certain foods you should not chew, like bones, very hard foods, nuts. Those things are contraindicated, because at that stage the teeth are very brittle. I mean, the least force, those teeth will break, unless of course they've been crowned, and then your underlying causes have been sorted out. Because at that point in time, the amount of water in the tooth will sort of have been reduced, so it's more brittle. The least pressure that you put on it is going to break.
Okay. So if anybody's at home and they've witnessed somebody who grinds their teeth, or what should we advise them?
Yeah, well, if you've observed that somebody is grinding their teeth over time consistently, there are two things: see a dentist, and if we try and sort out what the problems are, we refer you to the appropriate person. If something we can do ourselves, we'll do, because it's a whole teamwork. It's not only one person who is going to treat it. If it's stress related, we have to refer you to a psychologist who will do that part. If it's a side effect of some medication that you are taking, your physician will have to come in. If your teeth are broken, you have sensitive teeth, we have to treat the symptoms for you, and make sure that it doesn't develop into something else. Yes, so that's as far as the treatment can go. And one thing I would like to emphasize is that it's important that you go for a regular checkup. If it's that you're seeing your dentist, you're seeing your psychologist. I know in that part of the world, most people would not want to be seen the psychologist office or being seen somewhere, because people would think that you are mad. But the thing is that if you are under a lot of stress, chances are that it may manifest as Bruxism, so you have to deal with it quite early,
holistically, and deal with it from every different angle.
Yes.
Okay. Once again, I want to thank you for coming in and educating us more, this time on Bruxism. This has been Dr. Albert Hammond. He's from the Nabital Hospital in Tema, and we've been talking about Bruxism this morning in our health club, which has been brought to you by Lipton Tea and Voltic Natural Mineral Water.